Hello and welcome to Scam Beta Central. Today's video is a request by one of my subscribers about setting up a Trojan on a virtual machine to allow you to have access to your virtual machine when you are scam baiting. One of the main reasons why I figure that it's important to have control over your virtual machine when scam baiting is because as a number of my videos show while I've been scam baiting is that a lot of the scammers will lock the PC and they will also bar you from translating any input from your mouse and keyboard, which allows them to do pretty much anything that they want. Now, what I do whenever I'm scam baiting, I always have a number of Trojans running on my virtual machine. What this does, it gives me a lot of control over processes within Windows, even if they have locked or blocked my input, mouse and keyboard input, I still have access. So what I'm going to do here now today is I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what to do, how to put it all together, how to set it up, and a little bit of a description of what you can do while you're in there. Now, I will start off with Nanocore, which is my Trojan that it's a good one to start out with, and I may even throw in a little bit of a dark Comet one as well. Setting up your Trojans to work on your PC is fairly straightforward. If you can do it on one, say if you can do it with say Nanocore, then you should be able to do it with any others. Dark Comet is one as well. The process is pretty similar. So what have we got here? So what we have these are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need obviously your Nanocore control module. This has just been opened. It's nothing special. It's just opened. This is your command line prompt. You need this for your actual PC where you're going to be having a control module for the Trojan open. So that's your control module up here. This is your command prompt which you're going to need, and this is my virtual machine, and this is where I'm going to be having the Trojan running in, and then that is going to be calling this my main PC. So what do we do first? Right, if you're going to be using Nanocore, first thing that you need to do is go to your builder settings and go to embedded plugins. Click all the plugins that you want included in your server, in your client. From there then go to builder settings. Now, first things first, what I always do is I have my default group. In this case, in my case anyway, I always have this as bait machine, so that I know which is which. Your primary connection host is where once your Trojan is on your VM, Your primary connection host is where the Trojan will actually call and send all the information. So in this case it's going to be my main PC, and what you would need to do to put in there is, if you click in the command line, command exe, and type in ipconfig. Let's see if we CLS it first. Type in ipconfig and press enter, and this will give you your information. I'm using a wireless LAN, a wireless adapter, so you want that there. So you take that from there and you just write that into here. So it's 192.168. Make sure that's right. You don't need a backup, so you can delete that one. Your connection port is going to be the port that your Trojan is going to be using. In this case I'll do I'll do that one there, and skip user account control. You're not really going to need that. I very rarely use it. Request process elevation on execution, don't really use that, but this one I do. Run client when the computer starts. Next one then is your advanced settings. All these, leave them as they are. The only ones that I change is run delay, which I'll use at 4.5 seconds. Connection delay 6.5 seconds. Leave restart, timeout, keep alive, mutex. LAN time 4.5 seconds again, and I'll increase this one here, wireless LAN, to 9.5 seconds. The rest is good. Next, assembly settings. This is where you choose an icon for your Trojan to use. Now I have numerous icons at my disposal. Desktop shortcut icons. So here you can just choose your icon. What shall I use? Just for the fun of it, I will use my usual one. I'll use AnyDesk. So that's that one done. And then the next time you want to, if you want notification settings, you can show an installation log once it's been run. I don't need one, so I don't need that one. I'll show you how you can find out where, if it's running or not. And go down to the bottom one then, surveillance EX settings, enable keyboard logging. Then just quick check then to make sure that it's all supposed to be 192.168, so that's good. That's going to be my new port. And check on here. Yes, that's fine. 4.5, 6.5 seconds, 4.5 seconds, 9.5 seconds. Yes, shortcut. And then once you've done that, then you do compile. So now I'm going to be saving the output to my flash drive, pen drive, USB hard drive, whichever. Name it AnyDesk. You don't need to put the executable, the extent on it, just AnyDesk, and click save. That's fine, don't worry about this. It's just saying that the private IP address is a static one. Right, so compiling has been successful. So what I will do now, there's my file that I just created. So I will now go to my devices, go to USB and mass storage. And I shall just copy that from there. What you will need to do, you will need to put this somewhere out of the way. I'm not going to tell you where I put mine, but I put mine out of the way. For this time only, I'm going to be putting mine in C root directory. And once that's done, that's done. Now, what usually happens is not going to happen in this one because I'm already using a particular port that I've used on this server client. What usually happens is if Nanocore recognizes a port that is not active, it'll also show you a dialog box once you create the server saying, do you want to enable this port? Click yes. So once you have done that, it's basically ready to run. Right, go to connections. Now what I would suggest is, once you've got your virtual machine working how you want it, I would right click AnyDesk, run as administrator, click on yes for user account control, and it should come up here. There she goes. There it's active. So once that is done, you got access to it. Well, you should have access to it. It's disappeared. So what we can do now, we can go here. It may be Windows Defender. Let's have a look what we got. For some unknown reason it's not working. Okay. Let's have a look in C and see if it's still there. It is still there. So again, run as administrator. What I'm doing, I'm having a look at the, right, so it's C drive. Let's see if it stays there this time. Yeah, so it's staying there this time. Not quite sure why it didn't work. Other things that you can do with this one, which this is really helpful, because if you go to manage and you go to task manager, wait for it to update, it'll actually show you all the processes that are running. But if you go to connections, it shows you which ports are being checked, which ports are in use. So these are your ports, so you can tell which other programs that you've got running. This one here is for Dark Comet. I shall show you that one now. I'm running Dark Comet 3 at 5.3.1. This is free software.
Sound activated.
And there is my other one. So if I put that there, This one is pretty good, for the simple reason being is that you've got, if you go to, wrong one, we don't need that one. If you go to control, open control panel, you've got a lot of things that you can do with this file. I like using this process manager, so you just double click it, click on refresh. Now this is where you can terminate things, like for instance if I start up Google Chrome, give it a few seconds to start, and then once it's actually open you can refresh the list and click on your first instance of Google Chrome, then go down to your last instance of Google Chrome and press your shift key and right click the last, and then you can terminate the process. As soon as you press yes, it's closed. That is invaluable for, like, if in my latest video they were using Google Chrome to inspect the HTML on my bank account to add the transfer, the so-called transfer, I wouldn't allow them to do it, because every time they opened Google Chrome I would go here, refresh the list, 1, 2, terminate, close. I do that all the time to hinder them as much as possible. I have both Trojans working on my PC. I have that Comet for process killing because it's really good. I use Nanocore for the desktop, showing what the desktop is doing. So if I go to surveillance, go to video feeds, double click. So I use Nanocore for that there, for the desktop, remote desktop, and I also use Nanocore as well for monitoring the keyboard. Now the one main difference between Nanocore keyboard monitor and, where's my other one, that Comet keyboard monitor, how do we get there now? Yeah, keylogger here. The big difference between Nanocore keylogger is that that Comet actually stores the logs. So if you, for instance, connected to a computer somewhere and you wasn't too sure, or you wasn't able to connect to that computer for a day for some reason, maybe you were out, went on a day trip or something, this will give you all the days logs for every day that that computer is on. You may have to enable it once it's uploaded to the computer. Nanocore, on the other hand, Nanocore is really good for active keylogging. So for using it for your virtual machine, where you're going to be in front of your virtual machine for as long as you're going to be scam baiting with it, I would definitely recommend to use Nanocore's Nanocore's keylogger, because Nanocore is really good. As like I said, if you was going to be uploading a Trojan to a scammer's PC that you gained access to, that Comet would be a good choice, because it actually stores the keylogs, the log files. good for getting passwords and a number of other things. So I think I shall leave it there. If I close that one, I don't think that I need to do anything else. Here you have your control, allow remote control, send cursor movement as well, so that just basically gives you the it allows you to use that desktop as if you was there in front of it. You can do everything with this. Run as administrator, you can delete things, you can execute things, close things if you want. So you got your image quality settings here. Can be helpful if you've got a slow internet connection, or the computer that you're connected to has got a slow internet connection. You can decrease the image quality, its block size, as well as the processing mode. So that's that there. You've also got a few other things that you can do here. File browser, which is pretty good. I've already showed you task manager. Registry editor. Now, registry editor in Nanocore is superb. I would recommend that if you need to update the registry in either your machine, your VM, or whether you had it uploaded to a scammer's PC. You can use the registry and it's really good. Definitely recommend that registry editor for Nanocore. What else? We've got loads of tools, a few tools that I use. Monitor on, monitor off. Not entirely sure if they actually work. I have used them. I can't say whether they work as they do. They've also got a key locker on it, a computer locker, sorry. So if you wanted to stop a scammer in his tracks, you could Nanocore, management, computer locker, start locker. You can type in the password, type in the message that the scammer will see, and send it. That's pretty much done, and it's really good. So I'll leave it at there. Another thing that I would like to say is, once you run it as administrator, if I went and I shut down this virtual machine now, and then when I turn it back on, this will not be run as administrator. It will only run as a user, so you will lose certain privileges. So what I do, I am using VirtualBox. I am using Oracle VirtualBox as my virtual machine. And what you can do here is that you can actually take a screenshot with it actually running. So you take the screenshot as the VirtualBox is actually running, and then whenever you start that VirtualBox then and this shows up, it'll always have those admin rights. So I would recommend that if you are using VirtualBox or VMware, I wouldn't save the screenshot as the machine is actually powered off. Power it on, run this on here, run it as administrator, take the screenshot, and then whenever you save or whenever you restart that VirtualBox, then that virtual machine, then you'll have admin rights because it's in a saved state while it's open. So I will leave it there, and if there's any other information that you need, let me know and I shall do my best to help you out. I will put a disclaimer in here. This video is for educational purposes only. I do not recommend that you install any of these Trojans on to anybody's PC other than yours. I will not be held responsible for any damage that you make or do to somebody else's computer, and I shall leave it at that. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.